Welcome to Lehigh Valley and the Philadelphia Flyers organization, Mr. Kyro'S. Yes, you are reading that right. The Philadelphia Flyers have made themselves a trade to acquire the younger brother of one very notable Jordan Kyrou in St. Louis. Now, yeah, that's exactly what we are seeing here. Christian Kyrou, everybody, the newest Flyer, sent over to Philly from the Dallas Stars organization in exchange for Samu Tuomaala. And I wanted to go out there and talk about this trade, not just because Christian happens to be the brother of Jordan and there's an interesting kind of connection there, but because we actually did do some scouting on these guys earlier when they were younger prospects. So this is kind of up my wheelhouse. By the way, happy birthday, Cale Makar. I'm just seeing that right here. He's 27 years old now. But Christian Kyrou is a 22-year-old, 5'11", 165-pound right-handed defenseman, drafted by the Dallas Stars in the 50th overall spot back in 2022. You'll note right away from his profile in that draft-eligible season and in the seasons that follow that offense was the name of the game for Christian Kyrou and what he was able to bring value-wise to his hockey teams. He had 77 points in 64 games played in his last season in the OHL, before heading over to the Texas Stars organization and putting up the numbers that he did there. Right now, he's got 0 points in 4 games, but all you need to do is look at the scouting report to see what his game is about. The name of the game is manipulation with Christian Kyrou. He'll bait defenders one way and then slide right past them in the opposite direction untouched, leaving them behind the play and hopeless to recover. All the usual suspects are there. Sidesteps, lookoffs, shoulder feints, etc., and the Otters defender has mastered them in the pursuit of clean zone exits and better looks in the offensive zone. Christian Kyrou also had a total banger of a slap shot in the OHL, so there was a lot of value that he brought offensively to the teams that he was on. Now, he was taken a little bit later in the draft because his defensive ability was not the best, and plus he's not the biggest either, only 5'11", 165 still. But the Lehigh Valley Phantoms and the Philadelphia Flyers organization are getting themselves a really interesting young right-handed defenseman prospect whose last name happens to be Kyrou, so of course we had to go out there and talk about it. I don't know if it's over here. Is the Why I Want... Yes, it is! The Why I Want video is indeed listed on the Christian Kyrou Elite Prospects page. Wow, that really does cure some of my imposter syndrome there. I knew I had a Why I Want video all the way back in 2023. Man, that's a throwback. Look at that old Erie Otters logo and that young lad of a guy over there. But Christian Kyrou, all tooting my own horn aside, has gotten traded over to Philadelphia, and in exchange, the Dallas Stars are getting Samu Tuomaala, 22-year-old forward, 5'11", 190, right-handed guy. He can play either side, drafted in the 46th overall spot by Philly in 2021. So where Kyrou was a 50th overall pick in 2022, Tuomaala's a 46th overall pick in 2021, he reloads to swing wide on his team's breakout, collects the puck in stride, accelerates through knee-over-knee crossovers, and drives play across the offensive blue line. Blink and you just might miss him. Tuomaala has a wicked wrist shot, and he can get it off in stride from either foot. Tuomaala's game was all about speed and shooting back when he was draft eligible, sometimes even to his detriment. You can see that back when he was draft eligible, Tuomaala was putting up some pretty good numbers in the Finnish Junior League, and also at the U18s he was productive. He then spent the next few years going up and down to various Finnish leagues, playing for the juniors, for Jokerit U20, Jokerit's regular Liga team, Pelitats Mestis team, and then he played for Kettera, where he was really good over there. The next few seasons saw Tuomaala take the next step into the AHL with 32 points in 46 games, the most recent season. This year, though, he's got 0 points in 3 games, so both of these guys have themselves 0 points on the year so far in the A after being somewhat productive the past few years. This really does seem like just a big change of scenery trade for two guys who happen to need it, And with the Flyers and the Dallas Stars leaving both of these guys in the AHL, that's pretty much the verdict here. You have yourselves an AHL guy for an AHL guy. Of course, there happen to have been more to like out of these guys in the past, but this season so far, I mean, both of them are at 0 points. Let's go over to this article published on ProHockeyRumours.com that goes out there and explains what's going on a little bit more. This will be linked in the description if you want to go out there and read it yourself. The puck-moving Kyrou'S will add some speed and upside to the Flyers' pool of defense prospects. He's only 22, but it has an awkward couple of last few years in the Star system. The 5'11 righty was a second-round pick by Dallas in 2022 and clicked at over a point per game in his final season of juniors, but hasn't been able to find consistency since turning pro. Kyrou'S first year saw him record 8 goals and 23 points in 57 games, but his offense has slid down from there. He also has a -12 for his career in the minors. Kyrou'S was still something of a notable name in a weak Dallas prospect pool. He was behind the number 5 ranked player in the system by Stephen Ellis of Daily Faceoff, and he was the top right-handed D-man. With their minor league affiliate winless through 6 games and struggling to produce offense, though, they opted to part ways with the plateauing Kyrou'S and swap him out for some forward help. As for why the Flyers moved on from Tuomaala, it's quite apparent. The 2021 second-rounder has put up good totals for AHL's Lehigh Valley the past 2 seasons, but has tumbled down the organizational depth chart to begin 25-26. He was one of the club's first cuts from training camp and has fallen into healthy scratch territory with the Phantoms, only playing in 3 of 8 games so far this year and going without a point. Tuomaala's previous track record makes him an intriguing pickup for Dallas, though, and one still with NHL upside. The 22-year-old Finn has 75 points in 120 career games in the AHL and was an American Hockey League All-Star in 23-24. He was also the top player in Finland's second-tier pro league Mestis the year prior, scoring 27 goals and 48 points in 31 games for Pelitot and Kettera. Neither player has made their NHL debut, and they're both in the final seasons of their ELCs. They're also both not eligible for arbitration when they reach RFA status next summer. So that pretty much sums up what we have out of Christian Kyrou'S and Samu Tuomaala. Obviously, it's funny because Kyrou'S is the brother of Jordan, who happens to be an NHL superstar. I mean, yeah, Samu Tuomaala, AHL All-Star, Jordan Kyrou'S, the older brother. When he was 22, he was already in the NHL tearing it up with 75 points in 74 games played. So Christian not really following in the footsteps of his older brother there, but still a worthwhile prospect and somebody that I've had my eye on as a potential draftee for a few years now. I mean, we literally have the Why I Want video all the way back in 2022 available there. So if you wanted to see more about him and his Erie Otters profile, then hey, I guess that video's available for you. But I did want to get into this trade over here because I thought it was interesting. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike button's down there for you as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section about Samu Tuomaala and Christian Kyrou'S getting swapped between the Dallas Stars and Philadelphia Flyers. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.